support-oriented characters, and as a result, like, you don't see them paired off too much together. But let's see how they perform here.
Yeah. Yeah, Roundstar just starting a little passive here, just trying to feel each other out in these opening moments. Intimidating, still trying to just play a little passive, but gets opened up with a nice 5D, getting caught out there. Whimsy's playing a little extra here, but has a solid combo going, but unfortunate drop at the end there.
Yeah, but you know, it doesn't matter like where you are, beginner bracket, intermediate bracket, we still got those drop and select combos. Trying to do the 2 through 6B in neutral there, and actually ended up getting a happy birthday. Thankfully for them, Neo will be falling out of this combo, but this will be equalizing the health total a little bit. Akatsuki's still looking quite bad.
A smart time to get Yumi back in, you know, after a combo, not really having to deal with anything, but nice counter hit combo, but unfortunately, not being able to get a full combo, but just busting out with a super, unfortunately, not going to hit. But Whimsy taking full advantage of that, getting a nice meter combo, getting a really nice 6.7, 6.8 kick.
Yeah, Neo, despite her low damage, you know, she gets a decent starter. She actually does a good amount and ends up baiting out the throw. Yumi getting hit just a little bit there, and the JB descending down may spell doom here for this Ruby. Do they got the confirm here?
Spending a little bit of assist gauge, not wanting to spend meter, but just gets a counter hit 5-8 in the face. And Yumi going down in quick succession as well. All up to Solo, Kashi, and Slow Neo to make things happen. Both have level 2 resonance. Oh, didn't believe in the punish, and just goes underneath the 2C. But, yeah, looking good right now. Getting I imagine it's a pretty nice punish on the 2B, but looking good for Intimidating right now.
Yeah, attempting to go for a little bit of a cheeky throw bait perhaps there, but does get grabbed for their troubles. Double Super going to be taking out quite a bit of Akatsuki's health, still living on a pixel here as they go in straight in, and no punish on that EX dash, but does get the throw as the 5 meters on deck. Are they able to confirm into a kill here?
Yeah, this should be enough to find they don't drop it. Yeah, just keep it as simple as possible. Don't even go for that extra 5 BBB if they wanted to. Intimidating, taking the first game.
Resuming mission.
It was looking really solid too. So it was looking really good as well. So, you know, just it didn't really favor either person in that side of the bracket. So hopefully we'll be able to, you know, see some more adaptation from Whimsy.
Yeah, there was you know, the like definitely some perhaps like confirms here or there that definitely could be worked on, but to be expected in these beginner brackets. They thankfully, you know, for Akatsuki and Yumi, they have relatively simple combos, but like all things considered, Ruby and Neo have a bit of complex routing, and it can be really awkward, I think, for beginners to have to deal with. But just proving, you know, like sometimes you just need the simple stuff to really get going, and that was a pretty close game overall.
Yeah. So hopefully Whimsy, I don't even really think there needs to be like a huge adjustment made for really either side because the game was so close. So hopefully Whimsy can make something happen here in these opening moments, but just gets wrapped on the head with a JB from Akatsuki.
Yeah, but Ruby going in for a simple combo, but unfortunately drops there. Just getting hit by the 5A. Oh my god, yeah, the burst actually able to kind of get baited out there. And the good old 5C, baby, spend the cash too. That is looking like a really low Neo.
You know, looking too good right now, but still showing a lot of heart and fighting out of this. But probably needs to get them out because one good touch will be the end of them. But unfortunately, they still live to see another day, but just gets a counter hit 5 to the face. So it's all up to Soul Ruby, but the Whimsy's Ruby is not looking good either in these moments.
Yeah, I tried to go for a little bit of a 6P combo restand setup there, but ends up getting nothing for their troubles. But still, Akatsuki is still swinging, trying to frame trap there with the EX Tatsu. And yeah, that should just go through each other there. Both of them coming out relatively scot-free.
Still looking good. Try to whip out a super bow. Unfortunately, hitbox does not go behind Ruby. One of the rare plans for Ruby. But looks like this might be curtains for Whimsy in this second game here. Oh no, not quite. But still in contention to take this, but it's not going to be an easy climb for Whimsy, but just gets cut right there and Intimidating, going up 2-0.
Akatsuki, Yumi.
Yes, you know, like both Akatsuki and Yumi definitely have a pretty solid assist kit. You know, Yumi being the notorious like support-centric character has a lot of really good projectile options. For example, that 5P from both sides really is quite the menace to have to deal with, and we're seeing a lot of that being utilized by Intimidating. They're just kind of lock down Whimsy, and you know, currently maybe thinking of a character swap. I don't know what other teams they could have in the back pocket, but it looks like the Ruby Neo will be attempting to make this a 3-0 reverse sweep happen.
Yeah. And I think this is a very solid team to do it. You know, Neo can benefit a lot from just Ruby's assist kit in general, and it can allow Neo to party hard if they want to. So we'll see. Whimsy, looking unfortunately a little worse for wear in that second game, but you know, I'd imagine that nerves might be getting to them. They were really close in that first game, so hopefully they can stay a bit more composed and make something happen here.
From crossing fate. Fight.
All right, we're just gonna move in. Yeah, just gonna be going in for some zoning here. Yeah, just 236A. These Yumi zoning pressure just proving a little too hard for Whimsy to have to deal with, and that is a dead Neo.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Just gets opened up by that JA as well. Whimsy not looking too great and intimidating, just running to the hills with this. Not looking too good, but just gets punished on that with 5-8. And this could be currently provided that Intimidating has the proper routing for it.
Yeah, looking like it. Go into the super, into the DHC, and that's going to be a perfect here for Intimidating.
I expected more. You should know your place.
Yumi. Akatsuki. Win. Perfect.
Yeah, that was a little really strong team. Going up to the Fish Licker, who has been the, despite qualifying this beginner bracket, there are they're no stranger to entering a lot of like WNFs or like Big 8s and stuff like that. So very much experienced with going through the Shark Tank, and we'll see how they go against Augodyne here.
Yeah. This will be an interesting one. I'm not entirely sure on Augodyne if this may be their first tournament bracket and whatnot, but has a pretty solid team. But Fishlicker definitely going to be quite a threat in these opening brackets, and just Augodyne doing pretty well, chasing down Fishlicker, getting a nice opening on them as well. But which a little drop, but just 5C working out pretty well.
Hitting the Marvelous as well. It hits the 236C for the sandwich situation. The Fishlicker having none of that, but you know what? Silent Suzuka does not care. Going for the DP and goes for the double grab as well. Try to go for a bit of the fancy throw route there and dropping the combo, but you got another DP in the pocket.
Yeah, just a really bunch of brave DPs coming out, and just a third one in succession as well. And slowly but surely, Augodyne is making their way to take out this game. But just a semblance worked out in a nice touch with, and actually that's going to be currents for Orie in a reversal of fortune.
Yeah, that semblance is definitely going to be paid off here. Solo Shirogane, level 4 Resonance though. This is one of the most painful characters to really have to deal with in this situation. Gets the gunshots just for a little bit of damage, but not opting to pop the Resonance just yet. Just wants to be a little greedy with it.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fine for Augodyne to do that, because look at the health value on the Naoto. They can at least take 1 or 2 like hits from Fishlicker's team and still come out okay before they have pop resonance. Looks like they're doing it right now and is looking to make something happen here, but Fishlicker gets a nice opening with that 5B.
Yeah, spending a bit of cash, just wants to ensure the damage and getting in the Yang. Definitely with Shirogane at that low of position, she is that have a one shot from the Yang, but you know what? Already sniping her out, Blake coming in and going in with another super, and that should actually be it.
Yeah, excellent comeback from Augodyne. It was just losing the Orie pretty early against a pretty healthy Blake Yang, and especially against someone as tenured as Fishlicker, as we've seen for a bit. Just no easy battles here, even these beginner brackets. So hopefully Fishlicker can make
in this game.
Trying to chase on that now, so not looking too good right now, but getting blocking the 6 piece from the Yang as well. In a little bit of a sound situation, just right outside the orb, but the push block right into its loving orb. And still, Augodyne not looking too good. Fishlicker isn't too happy about how it's set, but it just punishes the DP of the 5B.
Yeah, solo level 4 Resonance Orie. No, I've seen some pretty crazy Orie comebacks in my life, but between the two characters, Shirogane definitely wants to be on deck more. Unfortunately, dropping the combo at the end. Everything is just a drops and select at the end of the day, and we're getting that DP as well as the DP bait.
Oh, no unfortunate drop at the end there, but it's still a decent amount of damage, and thankfully Orie's DP does reach pretty high. Should be able to take down the Blake here. Unfortunate drops him again. Oh no, just bloody rip!
Just, DP's working out there, but the mash at the end, what do you... Fisher was like, "What are you trying to do? Mash on my Yang? Do you know what character I'm playing? That is the queen of mashing there. A little bit of a rough middle part there, I think, for Fishlicker, the Orie. Definitely showing some solid results, but still."
Get ready.
Yeah. Sorry, we a little bit of interruption in real life. The commentary will resume. But yeah, just currently 1-1 in this position to be starting off with the same teams and activating the cross combo just immediately and gets hit by the 5P though. That's a pretty nice confirm, but the 2-1-4B actually I think getting crossed up. But you know what, 2B the 5C, what are you trying to do?
Keeping the pressure up, and Augodyne's been really brave with these Orie DPs, and it's worked out pretty well so far. But yeah, just getting a nice combo at the corner. Unfortunately, dropped out of there, but still trying to mount the pressure, and has a slight life lead right now, and slowly making that more and more apparent with some of this mountains. But Fishlicker slowly trying to make their way with the 6 Ps and the firecrackers, and just oh no!
Ah yes, the consistent interaction there with Yang Arbor. Shirogane DP, one of the most notoriously janky DPs in the game, and you're seeing a perfect example of why that's the case. She is going down. Solo Orie once again needing to make a comeback.
Definitely still doable. Level 3 resonance, maybe not the ideal with having level 4 right now. That's still a good amount of life to recovery, and it's still a pretty healthy Orie as well, so, the miracles can happen here. Fishlicker, it kind of feels like they're on the ropes a little bit with how, low the health values are, and oh no, these 5 teams are working out dividends. Yang in one such situation, but a brave DP allows her to stay alive, but a DP right back to kill her.
Yeah, you know what? We don't care where you're at. Just DP straight at them. Unfortunately, spent the cash there, but not able to hit the combo. 2-360 coming out, but gets hit there. Might actually be able to kill with this resident time. Even Fishlicker dropping the combo at the very end. Yeah, currently Orie is definitely in that one-touch scenario, but Fishlicker's got to be careful as well.
Yeah. Nice push block into the 2-3-16, some of the classics, but just a push block right back into the 5B using that range, and Fishlicker, I believe, taking their... Is this the second game on the board, or this is the first game?
I do believe they're currently 2-1 right now. Yeah, I gotta say, I made the comment about Shirogane being a pretty tricky character, I think, for beginners have to deal with, and kind of proving that a little now. The more the Shirogane gets to play, the more advantageous they seem to be able to make their games. And due to some of the unfortunate interactions or just being outplayed in neutral, the Shiro did not really get to shine there. So we'll see how they can adapt here in these following games in order to ensure just to get kind of one of the stars of the team to get going, because all things considered, Orie Shirogane is a pretty good Orie-centric team, but Shiro is no such of a character, even on point. And she can do quite a bit of damage, and she always has that advent of having marks too that can really put your characters in a dangerous situation. So neither side of the team can really be trifled with.
Yeah. We'll see. It looks like Augodyne might be thinking about it a little bit. Maybe has another team that consists of either Orie or Shirogane in the pocket. And yeah, I think this is in terms of the general agreements on a tier list, this is a significant upgrade having Ruby and Yumi on the team. Actually, I wouldn't say maybe a tournament winning team, but this is a tried and true team that has showcased very strong strengths even in high level top 8s as well. So let's see what they're able to do with this team. But looks like we're unfortunately being put into the loading screen, but it'll have to wait a little bit. We'll see what happens. But for now, thank you everyone for tuning in. This is Intertwining Fate's very own Cram Session Extend, a bracket geared mainly towards beginner and intermediate players. So it's really nice seeing these even in year 7 of BB Tag. Still people looking to pick up the game and really learn and just see what's going on in this game, because especially with the advent of all these tag players coming out, this is there's a lot of people even outside the scene that will say that this is one of, even looking back on it, this is one of the most developed, fleshed out tag fighters in terms of the robust system that it has, and it's I think personally, if you're looking to get into one of the tag fighters that are coming out soon, this is a great way to get your like quote unquote tag fighter fundamentals.
Ready.
Yeah, most definitely. But looking like we're getting back to the match here, loading up relatively fine, unlike before. But yeah, comment on the Ruby Yumi team comp, a very strong team comp for sure. I haven't really seen it too much at like any major tournaments for sure, but like yeah, it's got Ruby, it's got Yumi on it. They work very well together, so we'll see. Ooh, yeah, going to be getting a DP bait there, but not able to finish the plate. Yumi getting sniped out. Yeah, just getting push blocked away.
Looking good so far. Yeah, just Augodyne trying to make their way in, but gets opened up by the push block 5B, some of the classics here. And slowly just trying to make their approach known with the Yumi ice shards coming in, getting hit by the overhead as well, and looking really good in these opening moments here. But Fish Licker not biting just yet, and unfortunate DP, it's just another whip again, and it works out. But yeah, just a bit of a scramble situation. Life totals are like relatively even right now, but these still Augodyne with a brave DPs from either side, slowly trying to make their way in, but gets opened up by that 6 people.
Yeah, just playing a little bit more there. Noticing like a huge amount of DPs coming out from Augodyne's side there. Fishlicker not exactly ready for it. Able to get the little bit of a fuzzy confirm on the Yumi, but she is incredibly low. Hits another DP, still going unpunished, but they do get hit by the 5A instead, and that will be popping the semblance there on the Yang.
Yeah. Yumi is in one such situation. That was almost scary because of the 5B from me, or JB from the Blake, but gets out alive just barely. And let's just see another damn, but just these brave assists call courage for Yumi, and it does right there.
Yeah, oh, another DP coming out there from Augodyne, but this is gonna hurt way more than any other hit. That Semblance Gang does a boatload of damage, and we're gonna be cashing out all the meter just to ensure that this puts them in the one-touch situation, forcing out the resonance pop. But what you gotta do, bust out with the super, kill off the Blake. This is a very even game now.
Definitely comfortable here, and one-touch situation for each side. Just have both sides have to be very, very careful, but it looks like Fish Licker just not enough health, just it's an outside of one-touch situation. Astro is in play for maybe just like barely, but just decides to spend the meter. Augodyne trying to make something happen here, with Fish Licker just realizing, hey, I have the life lead, they have to make something happen. I'm just going to sit back for now.
Yeah, but does end up actually hitting the grab too. That's a very good start. Going for a very basic combo, but everything you can get in the situation, including an anti-air 5C. Suddenly Fishlicker a little bit on the back foot, not taking that throw, immediately cashing out into the super, but that's not quite it. How much health does the Yang have left? Just enough to kill off that JB, as Augodyne able to make that comeback with the Solar Ruby.
Excellent work, and as evidently by tying up the score 2-2 right now on final point here, this Augodyne's new team is working out pretty well. So we'll see what kind of new adjustments that Fish Licker has to make. They were feeling pretty comfortable fighting the Orie Shirogane, but having a new team really just kind of messes up your flow a little bit, and just hopefully they can make some adjustments happen. It feels like there's a couple of nerves on both sides, but we'll see who has just like the more grit, the one to stay more solid between the two.
Yeah, most definitely, and needless to say, Ruby is a lot more of a well-rounded character compared to Orie, and we're seeing a lot of her great buttons being utilized there by Augodyne. And one of the great buttons in the world is that 5C, but also that 5B able to anti-air, immediately burst out from Fishlicker. And we're just proving, just swing around with the Ruby buttons, how bad can you be? Apparently really bad, because that's going to be an anti-air punish here for Fishlicker.
Looking good, getting some of their composure back. Trying to make something happen here. Oh, that was a cheeky little reset with the, just getting the tail end of that 5B and just having them tech out. But not looking too good for the ball right now. He just gets caught out. Yeah, that 214BA has a pretty big hitbox, but able to get out of dodge pretty nicely, and actually might take out the Ruby here.
Yeah, brought her out at the inopportune time there. Gonna be a one touch for her. Yumi coming in with a relatively high health total. You know, Augodyne did make a pretty impressive comeback with the Ruby. Yumi not necessarily like the stronger resonance character at all, especially when she's getting hit just like this, but she can definitely make some crazy stuff happen.
Yeah. Looking good. JC going to get some DP out. Not wanting to deal with that. That mix right there as well. But yeah, level 2 Resident Yumi, not the most ideal situation, but you know, there's a lot more chip on block in this situation as well. So they can make something happen against Clip Low, but unfortunately didn't believe against a combo anyway. Or like Fishlinger's back is against a wall all of a sudden.
Yeah, pushes away the Yumi, does not want to deal with anything, but she's coming straight back in. Gets the counter hit there with the JB. Not going to be dead at all, but you know what? You're going to be getting as much damage as they possibly can. Chasing her down once more, but a push block just to escape. This is definitely a pretty tense situation for both sides. One tap will do it on either end, and it's slowly getting more and more, I think, in the Yumi's favor. But the 5-seed frame trap in order to end off the set there. Fishlicker taking it 3-2.
I know there's someone that was a part of that entered a lot of TMN stuff that did run this team as well. The name is avoiding me, but nonetheless, a very solid team. You know, Kanji, not too popular of a character, let alone, you know, not very great plays on the tier list, but still, really solid team to showcase. So we'll see what Jay can do against Intimidating here in this opening moment.
Yeah, just going to be backing off a little bit. That big Kanji chair actually going to be setting that throw. And we're currently in the corner. This is really where it gets spooky, I think, with Kanji. Has a lot of issues in neutral, but once he gets really good going, that RPS in the corner gets really intimidating. And Intimidating will be going down here, I think.
Not quite yet. Getting the pickup and just a run-up grab. Super brave on Intimidating's end. Trying to make something happen here. Bringing in the Yumi, but unfortunately, yeah, the thing is with Akatsuki when you do that, your characters stay out for a hot minute, so they are vulnerable during that time, and you really need to make something happen or just keep them safe in situations like that. Unfortunately, Akatsuki will be going down here, and Yumi is have a march, so any point from this forward, Jay has a meter to go into an instant kill, so it's a one-touch situation regardless of that health.
Yeah, restoring a little bit of it, just gets hit by the chair. I think that's just going to be a simple cash out there. Jay taking the first game in a very dominant fashion.
Yeah. One of the things, you know, as we saw in those opening moments of you know, as you mentioned, the Kanji was able to get in, and you know, they do have a pretty scary vortex that they can put you in. You know, they have grab resets, they can just keep the combo going and just force you into a situation where you have to effectively guess for your life a lot of the time. So we'll see what Intimidating can do to get out of it. You know, Akatsuki DP could bail Intimidating out of a couple situations, but we'll see if they're ready for it.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, that Akatsuki DP, one of the best defensive options in the game, just able to avoid pretty much just like what this game is about, which is just assists. There is a lot of counterplay to it, so it's not necessarily the most you know, uncounterable thing, but like when it comes to kind of the beginner mindset, it's a lot to take in, and I'm not sure if Jay has the know-how to kind of maneuver around it, so this might be a pivotal thing that an Intimidating will bring out to kind of turn the tides here in this matchup.
Yeah, we'll see what they'll do in these opening moments. Intimidating has it back against a wall, but unfortunately just jumping over the 5B, and this is where the Vortex could start up again. Let's see if Intimidating is ready for it this time. A little too early on the assist call to not be able to get the command grab, but slowly getting some pressure going. Nice little cross up there, but unfortunately it just gets grabbed again.
Yeah, that Kanji, like, regular grab, you know, it's funny. Like, you know, when you think, why did the grappler need to use a regular grab? But it does lunge forward, and it has use cases just like that. But regardless, the Yumi will be getting a nice solid hit on this Shirogane, moving the corner, get some extra damage with that meter usage, and another throw for the troubles.
Yeah, Intimidating definitely smelling some blood in the water with these successful throws. And, could use as a point of contention to really turn things around here. Life total slightly in Intimidating's favor, but not ready for the EX flying grab there, and unfortunately just gets opened up. Trying to make something happen, but caught Intimidating flinching all of the solo Akatsuki this time.
Yeah, Does not have a lot of resources or anything to deal with. But Shirogane is coming out, red health position. But can they get through the slurry of projectiles being thrown out here from the Shirogane?
Yeah, Jay's doing a really good job at just keeping Akatsuki at bay. Slowly just trying to make their way in, trying to figure something out, but just those wall of traps just not making it easy, but bringing in a more healthy Kanji just to make something happen, but just gets opened up by the dive grab again, and this might be curtains? No, not quite yet.
Yeah, but does go into grab, doesn't even a chance to pop the resonance there, and Intimidating. Going down 2 games, Jay looking pretty dominant here in this set, all things considered.
Yeah, it's a... as mentioned before, you know, once Kanji is able to get in and, you know, land a solid knockdown on you, you genuinely have to guess for your life. And there's a lot of moments where you just you just guess wrong and you throw it back into the loop. And if you guess right, you know, you have a little bit of moment to breathe to play neutral again. But you know, especially with someone like Naoto in the back to support Kanji's methods on getting in, it's not an easy task just to keep Kanji at bay.
Yeah, definitely. And needless to say, you know, we did see some Shirogane play out there. The Kanji has been the real star of the show. So in terms of like adaptation and Intimidating needs to do, like for sure, be more aware of those air grab setups and not get caught out in those situations at all. But we'll see if they're able to kind of make those adaptations here as they need to fight for their life.
Yeah. We'll see what they're capable of here in these opening moments. Intimidating did have some pretty nice moments in that last game, but unfortunately, getting a hard knockdown, going back to the corner, but a brave DP will get them out. And that was some excellent air slow. I feel like if Intimidating didn't do that, Yumi would have gotten caught, but lives to see another day. Just slowly trying to navigate and make their way in. But again, playing a more defensive balance, just trying to just block out a lot of Yumi's offense.
Yeah, actually able to trigger the counter. I don't think Jay was ready for that situation. Just bravely using the Shirogane DP, running around, just trying to snipe out wherever they can. And it's definitely working out here.
Looking good with the edge here, Spidey. Works out pretty nicely, and yeah, just again the vortex. And nice patience on Jay to realize that, you know, maybe they'll use DP this time and just perfectly timed, but unfortunately getting him that counter hit 5B and Intimidating gets some momentum now.
Jumping out, but going there for the tick throw setup. This goes immediately to cross trade, but thanks to Kanji's 18k health pool, not going to be killing him just yet.
Staying alive here. It looks like they try to swat out that Kanji. Unfortunately, unsuccessful, but Jay realizing that the life lead is available for them and just putting that wall up, not really feeling the need to go in that aggressively, but Intimidating, just slowly trying to make something happen, trying to make their way in with any way that they can. And just, it looks like, you know, just trying to observe what is Jay going to do, how are they going to respond with some of my approaches.
Yeah, you know, Yumi like has good projectiles herself, but she kind of struggles against dedicated zoning characters, so really hard for Intimidating to kind of get in here. Actually going to be going into Rampage time. Definitely pretty horrifying to have to deal with when it comes to Shirogane. He just has a lot of access to meter and stuff, and actually sets up the unblockable there. Not gonna be a catch out to the kill, but like very good stowing there from Jay, and does get hit by the EX grab. Yumi will be going down, securing their advantage here, forcing out a resonance pop, but that might just be a kill with the wake up super.
Yeah, that should be just enough to kill the Kanji. All of this now is definitely doable one-shot situation for Akatsuki, but they need to make something happen. I feel like Jay is just going to be very content on just playing this long-range game.
Gets the air hit, but no full confirm there. A lot of chip. Kind of believed there in the B Tatsu hitting, but not exactly being the right call. Don't think there's going to be kill with the 4A starter. Intimidating another chance at life. Yeah, the good old chip setup and baits the DP from the situation. And, you know, generally harder. Yes, you know. Gonna be locking in with the Narukami Yumi team comp, a surprisingly rare composition in today's metagame, mostly thanks to, you know, Adachi being Narukami's, like, generally preferred partner, but hey, I know a guy that might play this team.
Definitely no slouch by any means in terms of this team. You know, just really likes to... I'd imagine this team is a little more in terms of offense is to really be able to bolster Narukami rather than like a little bit of a double-sided synergy here. But Fish Liquor paying no heed to it, just getting the burst and trying to get a nice opening on Luckidyne here, and already Yumi is in the red zone.
Yeah, cash out of the super before any burst could possibly happen here. Not going to be a dead character, but it will be a bleeding Yumi, and the wrong time to burst going to be leaving some damage from Yumi, but it's all going to be taken by Narukami instead.
Yeah. Fish Liquor just cashing out as much as possible and getting a very nice, looks like 8.8k. Trying to go for the wake up super, does catch the flake, but Yang pretty healthy. And reads a burst as well, but unfortunately no punish. And yeah, just scramble situation. Oh my god, Blake. Unfortunate burst right there with the active hitbox of that Narukami ace string. Not working out, but just gets crossed up there. Blake definitely hurt now, but Yang is super healthy and brings that back. Smart call to bring him back there.
Yeah, just needs that one hit, able to get a set down there with that Yang J, and Fish Liquor taking the first game.
Yeah. Very good stuff, you know. Luckidyne did have a good couple moments going, but unfortunately, I think one of the things, especially in this bracket, Fish Liquor, still in the general realms of beginner/intermediate, but they have shown up to a couple WNFs and I believe a couple of Big 8s as well. So I think one of the biggest things in their favor going into these brackets is just they have that tournament experience already and some of that grit and some of that steel nerves to make these things happen.
Yeah, and Orie starting off with a pretty good whip punish on the 5A, but does not quite bait the burst out. Patiently waiting for the 2-1-4B as well. I took a damage on both characters and gets the cross up and actually hits the reset there with a little bit of a weird timing, but does not hit that burst either. Luckidyne going to be kind of escaping with a little more damage on the plate, but getting hit once more. This Blake has been an absolute menace so far.
Yeah. And just again getting opened up left and right. Luckidyne not looking too good and just a little unfamiliar with Blake. Try to go for this bust out super, but unfortunately we'll be losing Narukami for that. Fish Liquor's Blake has just been super slippery this whole time, and Luckidyne is unfortunately a little worse for wear and trying to find an answer just to lock down and keep this Blake in check.
Yumi going to be struggling a little bit here for sure. Dropping the combo, not able to capitalize on it. Wakes up with the super and does not actually block that run-up 5A. Spends just a little bit of cash to stabilize it, and Fish Liquor taking another game. A little more hard fought, but still up 2.
Looking really solid so far, and hopefully Luckidyne can make some certain things happen. Yeah, I can imagine one of the big keys in this matchup, like especially against the Blake, is just that Narukami having some pretty good like long range normals. You know, the JA, or like the JA having 2 hits, so like it does have a bit of quite a few active frames. Just being 5A to just trying to catch out Blake in certain ranges as well. So hopefully they can make something happen, and it looks like Luckidyne wants to try and match the mobility of Blake with their own Yosuke.
Yeah, Yosuke Narukami, a pretty popular Narukami, or I guess Yosuke team for sure. Orie started off a little more confidently. Orie got them in the corner, but the Blake firing back here. Gets the double overhead, but not quite able to stabilize that DP.
Liquor looking good in these opening moments, trying to cash out as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, too much on the combo trying to check out. But Yang will be taking the brunt of this damage, but we'll be getting a burst out just so that Narukami can save a little bit of health, but just a really big hitbox of that 5B working out in Luckidyne's favor. And this could be the start to have Yosuke on party.
Yeah, but just the 6B able to kind of save Blake there. Gets hit once more, and then be finding a good place to burst, but gets immediately punished there. That was a really win here to the 6B, but we definitely take those cashes out of the super, kill off the Narukami, and Yosuke needed to make some pretty insane comeback.
Yeah, this could be the start of it, but unfortunately the Augodyne does go block, and I don't think they'll have enough range to finish the combo, but unfortunately not working out. He just gets caught with the 6P trying to push block and run in, unfortunately, and looks like that'll be curtains for Luckidyne on the winner side of this bracket here. Fish Liquor earning their spot in winners finals against J314.
Be able to apply in the winner side of the bracket, but in the loser side of the bracket, maybe perhaps they're a little more warmed up, and we'll see just exactly what they can bring out here with this Neo Ruby.
Yeah. getting a nice opening and just getting tapped in Luckidyne. Already just trying to burst this again, an advantageous situation, and a nice 5C will get them in some solid contention, but just unfortunate whiff on that 2B, and Whimsy just paying no mind and just going in with their offense of their own.
Wakes up with the super, able to catch the Neo 5A, and she's just immediately firing in. A little bit of a weird hit, unfortunately, but does find an okay place to burst, at least to save the Yumi, but not save the Ruby. Both of them are running up, choosing violence, but Ruby ends up being the winner.
Looking good here, just going in with that 5 BBB streak, unfortunately. No punish on it, but just Whimsy just, unfortunately, just getting caught out in a lot of these situations here. Could kill this situation, why they have the routing. Nice bait on the burst, but unfortunately whiffs and gets punished for it, unfortunately. But Neo coming in, looking good. Did they press? Unfortunately, yes, but thankfully they're still alive, but not for long. All to Soul, Ruby definitely still doable. Level 1 Resonance isn't going to make this easy. But Aurie, just another bust out super, just putting Whimsy in good contention.
Yeah. It's the push block, lagging the game a little bit, but thankfully not working out. Runs up with the super there. Man, I can't believe that actually did not kill the Narukami, but just wakes up with their own super. And that's gonna be the first game here against Luckidyne versus Whimsy. Going over to Luckidyne.
Yeah, it's definitely treading that fine line, but I think we are definitely in the bravery situation, especially with the life totals available. So, you know, honestly, it goes back down to the old saying of, you know, if it doesn't, if it still works, there's no reason to make adjustments, and both of them are just
they want violence.
Yeah, they want violence. You know, I'd imagine, you know, some of these players are the new ones, so they didn't pay, you know, $60 for it, but, you know, they paid money to play the game, to press buttons, not to block.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, gets that sandwich there. Able to get a pretty solid Narukami combo and punishing the burst as well. Unfortunately, whiffing the 5A a little too much there. Whimsy also whiffing some of their combos and getting that 5B check in order to get something there. And you know what? Like I keep on saying, violence wants to be played. Gets the Augodyne to catch the BZ Buzzsaw too, and immediately just going in. Whimsy might be dead for this, but no, able to burst out just in time, gets hit by the wake up super, and yeah, here we are. The equal life totals already, it hasn't even been 30 seconds.
Yeah, just already bursting in the Narukami, making something happen. No one wants to block on wake up and trying to make something happen here, but Narukami is looking pretty scary and just gets caught out by that 5P. Also solo Yumi, 2 meter available. I sense a wake up super coming, provided that this does not kill.
Yeah, the violence is there, but actually ends up just going for the wake up throw, but does not kill. You know what? Everything is just a reset. Goes into the super to ensure that Ruby goes down, and you know, just like that, equal game.
2 meter on deck for both sides. Will this work? Yes, it does. Another raw super and Whimsy. I believe that's the second game.
No, it's a 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Yeah, it's 1-1 on the board, and just both games ending it with a wake up super. So it is definitely a good time. You know, both people just want problems all the time. They want violence. It's, and, you know, that's perfectly fine how to play. You know, some people might even say that's an awful way to play.
Yeah, you know, like it's always the thing. It's like the bell curve where you're like, you know, let's not block, and then in the middle bell curves, you know, you have to block. And you know, let's be honest, even at high level BB tag, the play is just to not block.
Yeah.
They have the right idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's a matter of, you know, is it mashing or a bari, as some people would like to classify it. But Luckidyne getting a nice burst in and putting Neil in the red already. Not going to be able to kill, but just extending the combo as much as possible just to scare them as much as possible to maybe like a burst or something. But no burst coming out from Whimsy. It's all just so Ruby. It's a very healthy Yumi of Yumi. And just, you know, things never change and the raw supers just keep working out. Oh my god.
Yeah, goes in for the 236C. Was a little uncomfortable at the stabilization, dropping the Yumi combo there, immediately hits into the 5C. They are throwing out some crazy stuff. Once again, zoning is cheating, is the famous words of Bojack. And unfortunately not going to be able to punish there, and gets the punish of their own with the DHC. Thankfully not going to be a kill, with the 5B going on the other side of the screen. And Whimsy losing again. Luckidyne up 2 games on that set point.
Yeah, just I don't know about you. You know, I know a little bit about like cars and the general thing, and I'm no master technician when it comes to stuff, but both of them are driving vehicles, and the brake lines have been ripped out, and the throttle is stuck. The gas pedal is stuck, being pressed down the entire way. So you know they're just firing on all cylinders right now. There's no. There is no mind to fuel economy in these situations, and they're just running for the hills right now.
Yeah, that was a pretty good cross up there. Unfortunately, could not quite get anything out of it. Does wake up with the wake up super once more. Not able to punish it, but you know what? It's all just a throw setup, but dropping that combo, but trying to punish it of their own and just get sniped out.
Unfortunately, just thankfully, Luckidyne Yumi was able to get him pretty safely, taken into the other corner, trying to make something happen here. Blue B not wanting to check out of it. Okay.
Yeah, you know, we tech with bursts here in this household. It's okay. Brings in the Narukami a little low. That's a pretty dangerous predicament to have to be in. And mashes on the 5 BBB, bringing in the solo Yumi. What's it gonna be? More mashes.
Oh, really good DP, just hitting the tail end of that combo, but unfortunately, no, didn't cancel into anything. But it's okay. We're staying meter positive here. Also, solo Ruby definitely still doable on both sides. Damage output is insane for both, and yeah, just going to cash out early, and I believe that's going to seal the deal. Luckidyne taking it 3-1 over Whimsy.
Yeah, definitely. What are the most one of the most insane sets I think I've ever seen there. You know, and it's Pokemon out there with the Orie JA, but ended up just getting a nice beat toss to confirm. There was the Shirogane burst proving to be a little too a jank there, and you know, Intimidaving looking to make a perfect, able to back off, but still gonna be mashing out there. Gets the happy birthday, and thankfully the Shirogane DP will be working out. But the consistent theme tonight, no one wants to block.
And you know, I completely understand. You want to press buttons, you want to give a little click of your controller, or maybe a arcade stick, or maybe have both with just a hitbox if you're feeling that way as well. But either way, the offense is starting, and just again, nothing has changed. The really brave DP from Augodyne is working out pretty well, but Naoto looking a little worse for wear.
Yeah, okay, swap safely from the Shirogane into the Orie, very much a higher health character, does not want to have to deal with that 5C at all, just sitting down with the 5A. Not going to be punishing the burst, however. 5C at neutral, why not? Gets the DP as well. How many DPs are you going to throw out? None of them punished, but that Shirogane, regardless, will be going down.
Oh, and I think this is a tale that tape with tonight. A lot of wake-up supers coming out and Intimidaving, taking the first game in this set.
Yeah, you know, like, there's definitely a very consistent theme of just the violence with Yumi, and no shortage of that here with Intimidaving. And as I always say, you know, Yumi is one of the best scramble characters in the game, has some of the best buttons. It looks like Augodyne trying to mash that energy with the Yumi of their own. Like, Orie, you know, bless her heart, is not a character that I think does super well in scramble situations, and with how chaotic things are going, the Ruby Yumi swap I think is going to be very solid overall.
Yeah, I believe it did grant them a little bit of success against their set between, I believe. I imagine it rather quickly it brought them a bit more success compared to the Orie Shirogane in general. So hopefully they can make something happen here, but just Intimidaving is playing a little bit of hopscotch with the Ruby there with the DP. Nearly avoiding them, but we'll see if this team swap can make things work for Augodyne here.
Alright, just trying to swing around the Ruby. We saw guys some of the craziness of the Ruby with this set that they won in winner's side of their bracket, but already looking quite low. One touch situation for them, jumps out of any Oki scenario and gets the air-to-air.
Yeah. Looking pretty solid so far, and yeah, Augodyne gets a nice punish on that fireball, just being able to jump over him. Both characters having a similar scenario. Oh, that was really tricky, but gets the opening, but unfortunately not able to confirm and kill. But still getting a good amount of damage on Yumi, but they need to get that.
Yeah, and pretty safe swap out. Yeah, go back and off. Does not want anything with there. Able to get the frame trap too with the 2-1 for A. Has that 5 bars on deck. Do they have a kill available here?
Sorry not to use it just yet, but getting the cross combo. Unfortunately, that 5B a little too slow for that to pick up, but still looking good and just got swatted by that 5B. This team swap from Augodyne looking super good so far.
Gets a counter hit to B, but not able to convert off it just yet. Giving them a chance with a wake up super here with the Akatsuki. Gonna be a pretty tough bout in the Cram, I think, for Intimidating, especially getting hit by all these projectiles slowly, which is the way forward into the good old classic 5C, baby. Hit the Marvelous 2 to make a statement. This teamwork from Augodyne definitely working out in spades.
Yeah, excellent work for them. And, just especially in beginner brackets, beginner intermediate brackets, there's always that feeling of. I think what a lot of people recommend is just finding a team that you like and trying to stick with it. But Augodyne, maybe they feel a little more comfortable with this team will bring them a little more success. So it's nice to see that there's still a diverse pool of characters, let alone, having multiple teams to have in the pocket in situations like these.
Yeah, definitely. And Ruby Yumi, definitely a nice side team to have. For sure, but we'll see if Intimidating is able to adapt to some craziness here. Not able to bait that burst, though, but starting off relatively strong in their favor.
Looking good. Just trying to zone each other out a little bit. Trying to make something happen here, but a DP goes punished from that far. And Intimidating just running for the hills with it right now. Won't be able to kill the Yumi just quite yet, but it's definitely getting very close to just gets caught by that jaw crusher fight.
Yeah, able to burst out in time, DP that Ruby straight away in the same scenario too. Unfortunately, Akatsuki facing a little bit of the wrong way, but no fear here with his DPs. Get the throw baits, but DPs straight out. Is that being blocked? It will be, and good old punish there from Ruby, and suddenly the tides have turned, but the Yumi once again coming in.
Augodyne trying to make something happen and hit the brakes just slightly. Just a slight tap just to bait out that counter for Intimidating, and this is where their pressure could get started. And looking good so far, just slowly but surely just trying to even out the lights.
Yeah, tried to set up something cheeky there with the 6B, but unfortunately missing out right there. So showing some surprising amount of strength. Gets the counter though. This could be pivotal. Calls in the assist, able to kill off the Ruby. There she goes. Left with here with the solo Yumi.
Yeah, definitely looking really good here. Solo Yumi, no cycling situation, especially with level 3 resonance, and just gets swatted by that 5-8 off the solo Akatsuki. Definitely still doable. And the damage output on both these characters is really good, but I don't think this will be a kill just quite yet, but they'll definitely leave Intimidating Akatsuki in a one-touch situation.
Yeah, they gotta be careful with those wake-up options, giving them a little bit of respect, but giving them some false sense of security. Once again, just backing off, recognizing that, and once again, the Yumi has just been a pain for everyone to have to deal with. That JC, the little same side cross-up ending overhead, that's safe on block. It doesn't matter what skill level you're playing at, that will be catching people, and Augodyne up 2 games against Intimidating.
Yeah, looking really good here. Hopefully Intimidating can make some adjustments because
Get ready.
even with the character swap, these games are still very much hard fought. So it's just hopefully Intimidating can dig deep and find an answer just to quell both of these characters that Augodyne is piloting pretty well right now.
It seems I have no choice but to fight.
Yeah, starting off with the Yumi this time. Like surprisingly, the route start has been pretty respectful so far. Not a lot of violence on either side. Both of them kind of wanting to make sure they have some space before they really go in, which is a pretty good showcase of restraint. But with the craziness that's been happening, yeah, we're gonna be starting off with violence this time. Gonna be getting that counter hit 2A, but dropping the combo.
Just an air DP of all things. It worked out, but unfortunately, Ruby's DP hitbox has is interesting because it hits pretty high, but unfortunately, in terms of the horizontal range of it is a lot to be desired. But just right off the bat, Augodyne's really taking a nice 10k, but again, the problem between the teams so far has been this Yumi, so hopefully Augodyne can make something happen here, or Intimidaving will just try and run with this lead to have so far.
Yeah, gets hit by the Akatsuki 5B, but not ready for the pickup. The Yumi slowly coming in. Thankfully, not going to get punished there on that land JC, but will be getting punished on the landing here, playing a little bit of M-Bon, and yeah, just going to be going for a nice overhead setup with a good block and burst out, going to be saving Yumi's life.
Looking good so far. Yumi, again, trying to, or Augodyne's Yumi, trying to make something happen, but unfortunately air DP, that unfortunately means that it's not air unblockable anymore, but thankfully Intimidating does not have enough meter to completely kill, but the Yumi is hurting right now, and just trying to dig deep and finding an answer to open up Intimidating with that 5C, but not working out. Ruby is on the playing field for quite a bit, and we're pretty long in these opening moments.
Yeah, oh, I thought there was going to be a bait out of the DP, but grabbed a little too early. The rattle of the Yumi 6B ending up in Intimidating's favor. Left once again with a solo Yumi, but we have seen some pretty nice comebacks so far, and the start of it comes with this DP into the Resonance Pop.
Going to get some health back. I believe if they just let the red life rock, they should be able to be in a position where they can heal all the back up, and yeah, just hitting the brakes slightly to kill the Akatsuki. Gets caught low, but unfortunately that doesn't confirm. But the grab will seal the fate, and Augodyne taking it 3-1 over Intimidating.
Yeah, like, you know, just the Orie, Shirogane, a great...
They have pretty solid game plans with their teams figured out so far, so we'll see what they can do. It's going to be interesting because, especially with Fish Licker's team, the evasiveness of Blake can shut down Kanji pretty well, but we'll see if Jay has a way to go in.
Yeah, already backing off. Really needs that space there with the Blake, but a really nice counter confirmed. Thankfully, going to be launching Blake a little bit back to prevent that happy birthday, but once again, going to be trying to space him out. Going to be a pain in the ass for the Kanji to have to deal with. Yeah, just seeing a lot of respect here from Jay, trying to find that one opportunity to get in, finds it, but gets immediately pushed back out and punished.
Yeah, Fish Licker, unfortunately has lost, like, even if it's a straight hits, just lost some damage on the Blake and already gets a mark. There's 2 meter on the board, so I think Blake has to just sit back a little bit and see if Yank can put him some work. So we'll see what happens, because this is already shaping up to be pretty interesting so far. Just a 5B armors through Kanji's own 5B and getting super just to catch as much damage as possible, and just really put some fear into the Kanji on saying, hey, like, you can't be doing that against me.
Yeah, you know, once again, the 5B's going. Punish gets the burst in as well, though. That should be plus. Yeah, it does not respect those plus frames, baby, and, you know, going to be putting this car in position with a Yang. Actually opts to spend a little bit more cash for another cheeky reset. Jay not falling for it.
Unfortunately not working out there, but thankfully Fish Licker still looking pretty good. Gets the 6P. I don't think, this is definitely not going to kill just quite yet, but it's definitely just putting the fear into Naoto that, next touch will kill the character. But a brave DP comes out from Jay and is able to bring in the Kanji relatively safely, but brings it back out just to save Kanji's life as well.
Going in there, thankfully not punished, only a Persona break, but an excellent timing there with the Firecracker, able to beat out the Shirogane. 2Bs out of the situation, but gets DP to their own. But how good was that DP? Because it put Yang into the semblance. This is quite dangerous here for Kanji. And yeah, knew to duck that EX dive and ready for the punish. And Blake does a little amount of damage, but that was just enough to kill their Fish Licker, taking the first game.
Yeah, excellent work. I definitely think there was a lot showcased on Fish Licker's end, and Jay was trying to showcase a couple things, but Fish Licker was ready for the EX dive grab that caught a lot of people. That has historically caught a lot of people off guard in the past. So hopefully Jay has that just information of, hey, I can't do that willy-nilly against them. I'm going to have to really rethink my approach to get a game on the board.
Yeah, kind of one of the strengths of the team is that even though your EX air command grabs can get ducked, you have that Shirogane 6 just to kind of put them in place, because it puts them in an awkward position where they can't jump and they kind of just have to sit still, which allows Kanji to get in. So, that's part of the strength of the team, but we'll see if Jay is able to kind of adapt here in this situation.
Yeah. It looks like they're doing pretty solid so far, but unfortunately the 2B, unfortunately not a counter hit, so that doesn't actually combo. But Fish Licker, just instead of playing more defensive, they're playing at the perfect range for Blake to just harass the Kanji, but still applying the pressure as well. So this is a really smart play, just showing the proficiency that Fish Licker has with Blake.
Yeah, just trying to space out this Kanji. Wants to ensure the grappler never gets in, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta go in and hit that 5C. Hits the Marvelous as well, and a nice awareness there. Going to be ducking that command throw and dodging the Shirogane as well.
Getting clipped by that Jay QA, unfortunately not working out too far, but Jay bringing back in the Kanji, trying to make something happen here and clicks with the JC, I believe there, but unfortunately getting hit, looking a little worse for wear, not going to kill this quite yet. Kanji is a 18k health character, I believe, so they're looking pretty okay for now, but unfortunately, yeah, the active switch not looking too well, but Jay slowly making something happen.
Yeah, able to keep the combo burst safe too. Has the 4 bars on deck. I was gonna say 16 health character. I think with double supers that probably would have killed. Bringing the Kanji very risky, but paying off. Able to bait out that DP. Fish Licker coming in and not in the semblance popping zone, but still just choosing violence.
Looking okay for now, but yeah, this punishes. Yeah, a lot of assists are pretty pushable, and oh my god, not barely making it, but unfortunately a little too high up to get it confirmed. And Fish Licker trying to fight for their lives. Jay definitely playing not looking too good, and just threads the needle, and Fish Licker makes a Yang comeback.
Yeah, just like, you know, Yang, not exactly the most well-tailored to deal with zoning characters, but just has that aggressive mentality, and I think there was definitely some panic on Jay's side, just wanting to keep the Yang out. And when Yang players smell blood in the water, you better be ready for some violence there. And yeah, Jay unfortunately not able to maintain that 2v1 situation. Fish Licker ready to move on to the grand final set of the tournament with one more win.
Fish Licker looking really good, but Jay trying to make something happen, but you know, Fish Licker could be watching the stream and notice, you know, that caught Jay's previous opponent off guard, but it's not going to work on me. They have the grit to make things happen, and just really Fish Licker in full control right now in these opening moments of the team version.
Yeah, DP's out of the situation, not wanting to deal with any of that. Hits the Blake, but not ready. Ooh, the 5 BPB able to actually stop the Kanji command grab 2. Just trying to get in, and the raw 5B is going to be pretty huge, punishing the burst as well. And this is the first time this set, I think, they've really been able to get some corner Kanji pressure going, and it's immediately going to get stopped. Gets it punished with a 6P2. This is not looking good for Jay anymore.
Yeah, not going to have enough space to maybe try and kill the character, but just getting enough damage on the board just to really put that fear in them. And yeah, cross-cover situation has to deal with it, but Jay hasn't showcased this quite yet, and just calling out the gap in the pressure sequence and getting a good amount of damage on the Yang, and it looks like they're going to be able to kill as well.
Oh no, goes in with a 5A, was being a little greedy there. Doesn't punish the JC either. Gonna be sniping Blake on the way out, but it doesn't matter when you're sniping the Shirogane as well. In the toes, that could have been a pivotal drop there from Jay. A little too greedy, gets the cross up too. Are we going to be able to see a kill? No, not quite. Dropping the combo, but you gotta play out of your mind, and Jay not quite ready to make that happen. And
they've been showcasing that they have a lot of brave DPs that have had a pretty high success rate. So we'll see if they're able to keep up that momentum, or Luckidyne just also be in that same mode of violence as well.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter what the characters are in, we're still choosing some of that violence, and a very excellent patient there. Able to bait out the burst too, and I think that should be a mark there. One of the biggest things to deal with in this matchup, especially when you're going off so crazy, it can be really easy to get those marks in.
Yeah, looking good. Really nice DP from Augodyne. And we'll be killing up the Yumi. Had this 2 meter, got an opening, and was able to make something happen here. Off the solo Narukami, violence could be in play. Trying to get the IAD combo, unfortunately not working out, but the bust out Zeodyne, unfortunately not working out here. But an unfortunate drop that hasn't been working out too well for Augodyne's player. Luckidyne trying to make something happen here, but no dice.
Oh, yeah, just try to pick up and panic off that situation from the drop there and just gets hit with a 5C back. You know, Augodyne taking the first game there with the Shirogane, and those marks, man, you know, like when scramble situations happen, like Shirogane is by no means favored in them, but if she does end up winning from those scenarios and you are marked, it's like it's just a GG. So, you know, like Luckidyne playing some relatively high damage characters there with the Yumi, but nothing quite beat those instant kills. So gotta be careful about what they do so far. But a good start with the 2B.
We're gonna have a little bit of backwards hitboxing. Unfortunately, that DP didn't whiff, but unfortunately goes unpunished. And another DP just coming out, and Luckidyne trying to make something happen here, but unfortunately a little out of range. But just, you know, these really risky DPs coming out, but working out pretty well for at least Augodyne.
Yeah, and burst on the 236C, and another DP coming out of the scenario, trying to show some respect there, and going in for another combo, dropping it, unfortunately, but does bait out the super, and swapping over into the Shirogane. A little bit risky here, almost killing her off, and I think that 5 BBB check is going to be killing the Shirogane.
Also, but definitely doable. Again, just there's been a pretty high success rate on these DPs from Augodyne so far, but unfortunately, this could be curtains actually for Augodyne here. But unfortunately, not working out. But just delaying the unfortunate, inevitable, and Luckidyne 1-1 on the board now.
Yeah, and you know, like a very much in the same fashion that we're seeing the rest of the set, just choosing some violence, not respecting any of Augodyne's options. And yeah, going to be sticking strong with the Orie. Shirogane hasn't been a bad choice at all. I think there have been a lot of situations where Shirogane assists for how active and how solid they are has been able to give them some leverage here in this matchup. But starting off with a JB punish and getting a little bit of a combo, but not able to bait out the burst. But you know what? More DPs.
Working out pretty nicely. Getting the cross combo, just trying to extend the damage as much as possible. He's using a lot of meter as well, but only for about 4.9k. Gets punished on the way down with unfortunately, the double fade drop. And Luckidyne taking full advantage of it with a nice 6.4k. But looking good so far. And the GPs are just letting him rip. And nice patience by Augodyne to realize that they have full cross gauge and decide to spend on the break.
Yeah, and just opting to end the combo with a mark, getting as much damage as they possibly can. Wake up with the Zeodyne, bring in the Yumi just to ensure some safety on the Narukami as well. But she might just be dead for that. But no, not able to beat the burst.
Unfortunately not working out, but just gets 2 tapped on the ankles on the way in. But unfortunately, no good confirm. And just a raw super again, not working out. Just trying to punish even from an awkward distance play. Oh no, this is not looking too good for Luckidyne here, but brings in the Yumi relatively safely. And oh no, don't punish either! Just do it again! It's working out this time though.
Yeah, and that is the aerial array starter, so that's going to be a boatload of damage. Shirogane coming in, I do believe marking a character too, but considering the life total, I think it's 1 touch. Anyways, it just wakes up with a DP trying to swing on it. Augodyne taking the 3rd game here and is currently on that set point.
Yeah, just that was some. I believe that was a little bit of divine foresight because Augodyne effectively did that before even Luckidyne got up. So you know they had a little bit of preemptive measures saying, "Hey, I know you're gonna press a button here, and I'm going to punish you for it." Augodyne up 2-1 for that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just kind of the nature of chaos here. Very back and forth, but does get punished there on the 5A whiff, but no burst whiff available. Shirogane going into the back, but no full confirm either.
Being able to jump over the snowbird, but Augodyne getting a nice combo here as well. Trying to make something happen, gets a safe jump, but Luckidyne does block it, but unfortunately Narukami bursts in at an inopportune time and just the vortex is starting to happen on Augodyne.
Yeah, but it starts off with 1 tap, and oh no, stood straight into the Shirogane super, but dropping the combo Luckidyne trying to make something happen there. A little bit of an unsafe swap into the Shirogane, but it does not matter as we just keep on mashing on.
Thankfully, Orie was able to get it safely as well. Try to go for Wake Up Super, but jumps right over it. Hopefully, they're able to kill with this, but unfortunately, it dropped again. Hasn't really been working on these DP punishes, but hopefully, Augodyne is too phased by, but Luckidyne is getting some momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, you know what? More mashing to send some unsafe pressure. Bring in the Shirogane. Gets immediately hit here. As long as they keep it simple, I think this should be a kill. Bring in the Orie and Augodyne, proving that they are the superior Dyne here with the Orie Shirogane team comp.
And Augodyne sticking with the Orie Naoto, or Orie Shirogane specifically. We'll see what happens because, you know, we have seen a couple of mirror matches in this bracket so far, but even in, like, the scope of the beginner bracket, it's interesting to see a Naoto Shirogane mirror of all characters.
Yeah, definitely. But both of these players proving they have some pretty solid stuff with their team, so let's see what it ends up being. But it's going to start with that 5B combo coming out from Kanji.
Thanks, some decent pressure things going, but yeah, Brave DP coming out, just stopping some Orie's offense even after avoiding the command grab. So we'll see what Augodyne can do with this situation here and just burst out, just trying to get the Naoto in and just save as much as possible.
Yeah, able to kind of bring in the Orie. Did not actually route into a kill though, allowing for a switching into their own Shirogane, but gets grabbed for their troubles, gets grabbed once more, and this is like really where things get real violent.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is a weird interaction where Kanji is facing the other way and the Persona is facing the right direction, and this should be curtains and Jay should be taking the first game on the board. And this is I'd say, especially in the beginner bracket, Kanji is definitely a vibe check character because they have a lot of like cheeky resets that they can do to just really catch someone off guard and just really pile on the damage. And unfortunately, especially with the EX Dive, it doesn't look like Augodyne was prepared for it, but hopefully in these next few games that they have available to them, they'll be more prepared.
Yeah, and optimistic with the Shirogane mirror, you know, not exactly the best start out into this loser's final set, but regardless, going to be trying to stick it out with it. I think they really want to leverage those marks, especially against the Kanji with his pretty high health pool.
Yeah. And starting out pretty strong with this grab and just keeping things a lot more simple. I think they realized that, hey, the combo that I've been having hasn't really been working on a real match, so I need to switch it up and just at least guarantee some damage on this instead of just the raw grabs worth of damage. But Jay's Kanji looking a little worse for wear at the moment, and Augodyne has it in the corner but just gets thrown out of the back dash.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward hit though, so the combo will not be able to get stabilized. Hits the JA, but not quite able to get anything there. DP's out of the situation, has the 3 bars on deck. Are they able to route into the kill? No, not quite there. Orie coming out alive.
Yeah. Naoto is looking pretty good right now, but Jay's team is looking comparatively healthier, but brings in the Orie just to save some damage on the Naoto. But 5C works out this time. This could be a point of contention for Blood in the Water for Augodyne, but unfortunately just gets grabbed for the troubles. It's all too slow Naoto.
Yeah, and already started off with a pretty insane clash, not ready for the punish there. Just trying to bait something out and immediately just goes in with a no fear grab. Kanji going to be locked into the corner and goes for the EX command grab. Reset, 4 bars on deck, 16k health character. Will this route into a kill? Do they have it on deck? I don't think they can from this position though, but still one-touch situation.
See if Augodyne's ready for something and jumps the command grab. This could be the start of momentum shift. At this point, realistically, oh no, but unfortunate drop. But still, one-touch situation on the Kanji, and it looks like a little too slow for it to connect. For Kanji to punish, and it's a Naoto mirror match.
Yeah, Kanji does have that really slow throw, so it's hard to kind of punish that here. Augodyne's resonance is running out, but does get a good amount of value out of the chip. Waits up with the super. We're going to see another wake up super of their own. No, not either going to punish. Wait! Yeah, actually the shotgun able to actually catch that punish there.
Yeah, just a run of fight team working out, and life totals about even. One touch situation on both sides. No, unfortunately doesn't punish, but a DP really brave to make something happen here, but just slowly making something happen. But the JB will seal the deal, and Jay up on set point.
Yeah, it's like those Naoto Shirogane mirrors are quite the spectacle to behold. It's one of those mirror matches like against zoners. It can really depend who has the advantage on like who gets set up first and who kind of gets into their comfort and groove in those situations. And it looks like, we're not gonna be messing around with those Shirogane mirrors. The Ruby Yumi has consistently been the thing that Augodyne brings out when they need to make stuff happen, and that is no exception here.
Yeah. Hopefully, Augodyne can make some adjustments here because they especially with that last set, they have the capabilities to close out these games. But unfortunately, just fell a little short. But they do have some solid ideas on how to do things. But this team has brought them success in closing out sets. So hopefully, Augodyne can make something happen with this team, with this Ruby team.
Alright, the 5C baby, the good old classic mix coming out. Shirogane getting sniped a little bit. And Orie kind of just seeing the comfortability with the Rubies making the Kanji a lot less mobile.
Yeah, especially because I think overall Ruby has just, compared to the Naoto S and Orie, just has way better, much better airplay between those two, and just really putting it on full display right here.
Yeah, likely swapping off to the Shirogane, wants some health there, making sure they get some gunshots in for the additional damage. Run straight in the trap. That Ruby is looking low. If there is a punish available on the Ruby, that would have been a kill, but a smart DHC will be saving her life. But no, actually just bursts her back in, and there she goes.
All just so Yumi, but this has the Yumi has been the star of the show for Augodyne so far, so maybe they can make something happen here. But Jay doing a pretty solid job of just trying to wall out and play defensive, but caught Jay flinching, and this could be curtains for the Naoto. Actually, not quite yet.
Yeah, it did not root. We're strong enough combo and descends down with that Jay likes to mark things there, but actually for a more traditional Oki, Kanji, yeah, liking the collision box, actually going through there, able to kind of save her with the mash, but this is still not a great situation for both sides. Almost a happy birthday situation, but saved by the DP.
Looking good, and yeah, getting that air unblockable DP, or it looks like they're trying to press a button, and Jay on the back foot all of a sudden, trying to go for a grab, unfortunately not working out with such situation, but there is an astral at play here.
Yeah, that could have been it. Just going for the 2-3-60, maybe trying to catch those air command throws. Hits the counter hit confirmed, no full hit. This could be really dangerous. DP's out of scenario, completely avoiding that potential for an astral. Not a huge punish though on that whiff super, but we are going to be pressing that 5A with the Yumi. And Augodyne taking another win here with the Ruby Yumi comp.
Yeah, it's looking pretty well. I'd imagine that the momentum is just doing pretty well in their favor, feeling pretty comfortable, especially with that win on the board. So hopefully they can carry the momentum and maybe, one or two more dubs on the board just to see if they can get their revenge against Fishlicker. But Jay, I'd imagine that the pressure is starting to feel, the pressure may be on a little bit, so hopefully they can even close this out perhaps.
Yeah, they're pretty damn close so far, but just like that Yumi pressure, man, it's so hard for people to deal with. And that 5C being a consistent variable to open up Jay, not ready for it.
5C goes block this time, Jay's ready for it, but unfortunately gets crossed up and baits the burst as well, and Augodyne looking really good to hear. Nice 7.7k in general, but again, getting opened up. Jay's now already in the red, and there hasn't been a scratch on Augodyne's characters on the field.
Yeah, and bursts out of the situation and able to bait it here with the proper starter as well. Immediately cash out of the super. Augodyne working on a bit of a perfect. Hits the overhead, hits the conversion too, but a little too far away. 5C baby once more. Augodyne really getting to the groove.
Trying to feel super comfortable, only level 1 resistance on the Naoto S, but even then it's still a 4-touch game, and with the amount of meter gain that is available in this game, something could happen, and that could be a double mark, and it's just a 2-touch game from here on out now.
Yeah, just need one good old hit, but the navigation around the gunshot going to be quelling any potential to come back, and just like that, Augodyne tying up the set.
Yeah, really good idea to change from the Orie Naoto S to the Ruby Yumi, and it's It's game 5 now. Winner moves on to get their revenge, or potentially get their revenge against Fishlicker.
Yeah, definitely. And just like the name of the game, as always, violence. Ruby Yumi being one of the best facilitators of it, being a little too much for Jay to kind of handle. I think the movement and all that is not something that they're used to dealing with this comp.
Oh no, Yumi burst this wish right in front of Jay, and this could be just the 1 point momentum that they need to just close out this game. I imagine they're going to go into a mark, and yeah, Yumi already pretty healthy, but you know, it's just a one-touch situation here on out for Augodyne's Yumi. A little bit of a spike right there, but Augodyne looks on base so far.
Yeah, thankfully not enough meter to go into the kill there. Trying to punish with the air dash back, but gets the frame trap instead. Augodyne just trying to put a hurt in on the Shirogane before she can get going. DP's the DP's. That could have been really bad there for Jade. Nice tech on the throw there. Able to get the punish, though, on the landing. And imagine there might be another mark available. No, opting to just restart that pressure and bring in the Kanji.
Getting that EX dive grab as well. Working out pretty nicely, but DP whips, and unfortunately, looks like that'll be the end of Augodyne's Ruby. Did put in a lot of work this set compared to the Yumi, but you know, the Yumi is still a pound as we've seen from previous sets, but not going to be easy. But that with DP from Jay could be the start of something that that Augodyne needs.
Yeah, remember she is in fact Mark, and there we go, Skull and Crossbones, but doesn't actually go into the Hama setup. Gonna give him another chance at life there. Shirogane gonna be blocking that base, the DP. Are they able to get the kill here? And yeah, Jay able to temper the storm that is the Augodyne. Ruby Yumi will be moving back to the grand finals side of the bracket to get their run back against Fishlicker.
Yeah, that was an excellent set by
Fishlicker with some digital adaptation, you know, some more coal firing in that oven. Perhaps they're able to make something happen there, but the burden of proof is definitely on Jay. Grand final set between Fishlicker and them. Let's see how it goes.
good so far. Fishlicker, again, playing that more defensive, more of that range game where Blake is more comfortable at, but unfortunately gets caught out there, and other than that, Blake is already at half health, not going to be able to get a mark, but just get some damage on the board. EX double phase just to get a little bit more damage, but Fishlicker's Blake not looking too good in these opening moments, but still trying to fight their way.
Indeed, Fishlicker definitely having a little bit less life on that Yang or that Blake, and wants to get in the Yang. Okay, no jank Yang 5B setups against the Shirogane DP. Just going to try to push it away, maintain that slow momentum along with some violence, and there it is, the good old consistent punish there, and try to get a little bit of an extra confirm and some damage. Shirogane looking really low.
Yeah, not a good point for Shirogane to be at right now. Needs to get her out if she wants to stay alive, but you know, Jay being pretty valiant gets a pretty safe way to get Shirogane out, and Kanji gets to party for a little bit and gets a nice 5C. I don't think going to kill the Blake just got it yet, but definitely in a hurting position right now.
Yeah, running around here, gets hit by the 5C baby. Does not opt to spin the catch. I think that's pretty smart. That would have put Yang into that semblance range, but opting to try to maybe go for a kill, but does not keep it all burst safe. Jay looking to win this game.
Nice awareness to know that the EX dive, or the dive grab was coming and ducked it, but nice snipe on the 5B, and yeah, that'll be a kill on the Naoto. I'll just solo Kanji, but Fishlicker has to be a little worried because it is a one-touch situation for both Yang and Blake.
Yeah, just playing relatively patiently. Going to be going to the Rampage time. No character on screen, particularly a good Rampage time character, but going to be trying to get something here with a counter hit 2B, and 5C does not go straight through the armor. A lot of that meter being built up, but dropping the combo, but all that meter being spent is coming right back here. I think that's going to prove vital here as they're able to get the EX command grab and bringing in the Kanji. Gets the throw immediately, and that should be curtains here. Jay finally getting a game over Fishlicker.
Definitely running on all cylinders. Fishlicker might have cooled down a little bit, having to wait for their opponent in grand finals, but Jay looking super good, and you know, just even though in the winners final set between the two, Jay tried to bring out some of the EX air grab or dive grab quite often, but unfortunately did not work out there. But in this opening set in Grand Finals, you know, there was some signs that it worked, so maybe Fish Liquor might be slipping a little bit, might be feeling the pressure of the, you know, you're in winner side Grand Finals, and you only need 3 games to close this out, but, you know, just remember your game plan, make sure to stay solid, and hopefully they can turn things around, and Fish Liquor getting the first moments in this set.
Definitely, alright. Yeah, this Blake Oki was pretty hard for them to deal with, but a nice adaptation going to be getting the low.
Getting some nice pressure on the board as well, and just burst out the Kanji. Already at half health, but regaining some of that as well. But Naoto S gets some time to play. Trying to make something happen here, but just trying to play for defensive, but not really working out here. Fish Liquor just at the proper angles for a lot of those gun shots to win.
Ooh, brought in the Yang at a little awkward time. Jay completely ready in order to get something happen. Looking like they want to go in for that mark setup. Bonking the Yang on the head. Doesn't know how to have a meter in order to get the kill. And Fish Liquor smelling some of that blood and just trying to make everything happen here with this Yang before she goes down and gets the Blake in just for this hit though.
Yeah. Trying to get as much damage on the board on the Naoto. Looking pretty good. A nice 6.6k 3-meter spend, but we definitely take those. And I feel like this has been the star of the show between these two in the previous set of winners finals. So hopefully they can make something happen. Unfortunately, a little too far for that 214C to connect. And Naoto S lives to see another day, but gets clipped low and still alive.
Yeah, still keeping her in. Very brave decision. One snipe out, especially with the meter on deck. Able to dodge straight through the EX command grab too, but does not get the stabilization on the combo.
Good DP, realizing that Jay's been liking doing the 5DP into 5C. Just DP's out of it. Try to make something happen, but just the DP and punish with the trap. But unfortunately, no kill.
Yeah, that could have been pivotal. Yang almost dying here. Is that able to get punished? No, not quite. Both of Fish Liquor's characters looking low in the DP. Active for just long enough. One other mark on the character. This is definitely one touch. Gets hit by the low, but what's it going to take for Fish Liquor to come back? And all it takes is just that one hit. Oh my god, there. Yang armor proven to be able to literally stop death itself. And suddenly this is a bad situation. Gets the happy birthday, but not stable as a combo. Jay a little not ready for it. One touch situation on both sides.
Oh no, and just the brave run of 2B works out and Fish Liquor takes the game, tying the set up 1-1.
What a crazy way to just choose violence in that set. Saw the Hama come out and was like, you know what, how good is Yang armor? This good. Able to literally stop death itself. The light of Allah was blinded by Yang Xiaolong there, taking their first game. Absolutely insane work.
This is going to be talked about in Power Scaling discussions, but either way, getting into Game 3 and getting a nice little opening from Jay at this start here. But yeah, oh, just from downtown, getting that nice EX dive grab off of the 6B.
Alright, just trying to run around here with the gets the counter hit. 5B does not want none of that. Mistimes the burst punish as well and does not get any fortune here with this DP. Yang super full health and she just doesn't care. But Kanji's DP having that little bit of a weird property where he's invul actually allowing for a punish of his own. Insane work.
Yeah. Looking really good here. Fish Liquor not too phased by it at the moment, but yeah, just gets caught in the dive grab. And has to burst Blake in just to make sure to mitigate as much damage on Yang as possible. But Jay looking pretty good, trying to call out maybe some kind of snipe on something, but just gets hit for their own troubles. Blake in the red, and yeah, just getting walled out.
Alright, smart, very swapping into the Yang, but there's so many traps in the way that they have to clear before they can zone out. Really smart spacing there with the Firecracker. Finding an opportunity to rush down, but not quite able to open up the Shirogane just yet. But a nice throw setup is going to be able to start some pretty solid damage, but no burst punish in order to continue that pressure.
Unfortunately, in this set, these EX side grabs have been working out a lot better. And winners, that's a grab. Will they hit both? And yes, they did. Kanji staying alive, but now to going down here. This is kind of scary. There's 2 meter available, so they can go for some EX dive grab or go for just a raw super to call out any gaps of pressure.
Yeah, Yeah, one touch situation, I don't know what to end, but the JB being very nice there, calls in the Yang, and Fish Licker not deterred by the life totals at all, playing very confidently there against the Blake on set point and on that tournament winning point as well.
Feel down about it.
Yeah, hopefully they can stay solid and close this out. But Jay definitely showcasing that they still have a fighting chance of getting a game on the board. And none of these sets have been, none of these games so far in this set have been easy for either side. So hopefully Jay can make something happen here, or Fish Flicker might be on a roll, feeling that momentum, and can just close out this tournament right now.
Can't escape from crossing fate.
Yep.
Fight.
Alright, showing a little bit of hesitation on both sides. Nothing coming out of it. Just returning back to the neutral side of things. Ooh, Fish Licker trying to go for a combo, but Jay completely ready for the punish.
Could be the start of a vortex, and yeah, just getting caught out with the Cyber Grand. These have been working out super well, and Jay smells blood in the water, but just hits the brakes momentarily, got a punish, but unfortunately, a little bit of a missed input there, and Jay's looking super good in this game 4.
Ooh, just going in with that 5B, the good old Classico button there, but not getting too much out of it. Able to dodge the command throw. Blake 6B in the back, able to save Yang's life too.
Clash with the 6P? Okay, well, yeah, Kanji's Jay's Kanji not looking too good right now. It gets called out with the JC, unfortunately. Thankfully, combo did not drop out, and Kanji lives to see another day, but it's definitely a hurting unit right now. Needs to be careful on what they do with that Kanji in terms of assist calls.
Yeah, just a bunch of DPs out of the situation. A nice match to be beating out the Blake a little bit there. Gotta be careful about the Kanji. No fear at all, but the semblance will be coming out. Cross combo just to make sure that he's still alive. Gets the potential happy birthday Kanji going down low. Shirogane, this is what you gotta make that comeback with.
Definitely the character to do it. It's going to be pretty solid, but unfortunately, get some mark. Don't press the button. Okay, that should be enough, and yeah, just threads the needle with the burning gold, and Fish Licker takes it